What's going on, YouTube? Tiberius here, and today we're doing something a little different. That's a alignment chart. I'm sure there's a better way to do this, but hopefully this is just something to introduce an idea and drag something along into the Jujutsu Kaisen realm. I'm sure people have done this before. I just haven't seen content around it. Taking plotting on a graph the weakest to the strongest and most inconvenient to the most helpful in real life curse techniques. Generalized idea of where they are in terms of power in the verse, and then it's about graphing it how usable it is in real life. Inconvenience the bottom and makes life easier is the top. So something like Momo isn't very strong, but it does make life easier just to be able to fly around on that broom. And something along the lines of Kokichi Muta. You know, we see him in the tub all the time, but he has a really strong ability. And the only caveat is the curse technique has to be used in X amount of days. Suguru Geto's position, he has to take curse spirits, curse manipulation. He has to find one in order to control it. That's not plausible in real life. So that would automatically be an inconvenient curse technique to have for that, issue. But gather around, you gay gaggers, because it's time to get into it. There you go. All right, so here's the alignment chart. Remember, weakest to strongest, most inconvenient to makes life easier. Now, this is also with, thinking of how I am as a person. So something that might be inconvenient for me to use may not be the same for you. So let's just go through it and see what I have so far. I did put Tengen at the absolute bottom of the graph. I consider immortality to be not in and of itself to be super strong. It just depends on the person and how studious they are in their learning of new techniques and trying to further along their jujitsu. If I was immortal, I don't know necessarily that I would become a barrier master. Smooth brain activities over here. But Tengen, she does a lot with her time. I mean, it's still to be seen exactly what all she's capable of, or not necessarily capable of, or what she got her hand into. But we'll get, we'll hopefully get there with the Heian era stuff. And it's inconvenient. She has to assimilate a person to, maintain the form. So that's essentially your immortality comes at the cost of, one life every 500 years. Maybe that's okay for some of y'all, but for me, that's inconvenient. Gaku Ganji, average as hell. I don't think he has a strong curse technique, and I don't think it makes life any better or worse. I mean, what? I guess he could be like the Bluetooth speaker at a party. I wouldn't want his wrinkly ass, or wouldn't want my ass to be in charge of that. So boom. And of course, the honored one at the very peak of the graph, the strongest and makes life easier. And it's pretty simple. Teleport, just the teleportation alone, even if it's short distance, limitless, not being able to get hit by projectiles. I'm from the US, so that is super useful. You know what I mean? All right, so let's just look at the rest of the chart. I won't be doing all of these. I don't think you can. Yeah, you'll be able to see some of them. But we'll jump 10 shadows. Now, people who can create Shikigami, they get the benefit of having Shikigami in real life. But someone like Suguru Geto, who needs to find the curse before manipulating it into controlling it. So I'm going to go 10 shadows about here. Yeah, probably about there. And remember, these are generalized, spots for them in terms of strength and all that. You do not want me scaling. I'm not a good scaler. Yasamichi, is that his name? His curse technique isn't all that strong. I mean, his best creation is technically Panda, and I mean, we see Panda isn't crazy, but the all the other stuff he did, putting life, a living soul inside of a puppet, that's pretty cool. But unfortunately, I would probably put it about here. Having puppets would make life easier. I mean, think about it. Even if you can't like bring them out, they can go get your shoes. They can go start the car for you if they're, in a disguise maybe. Just kind of bring you a beer, whatever. Resonance, I do think Resonance is real strong, but I don't think it necessarily has a real life application that makes it all that great. So we're going to put it right here. Won't be doing any domains or like curse energy specific things. Now reverse curse technique we're going to put up here. Because in and of itself, necessarily like fighting against someone, it doesn't really help you. But, heal yourself makes life all that easier. Fire. Now remember, this is another thing that I forgot to mention. My apologies, but some of these are hard to kind of picture just a curse technique by itself. But some of these curse techniques are just like synonymous with the sorcerer that they belong to. It's hard to separate the two. So just keep in mind I may kind of flip-flop on that. But now fire. Having fire can make things very easy for you. You also would be someone to not fuck with. But I don't necessarily know if it's like makes life easier than 10 Shadows, But we'll just put it about here. Alright, so next up, Heavenly Restriction Maki's version. Being a physical beast and durable does help. Sports, makes life, like you can have a more rounded life with that. But I don't think it's super strong. Maki, hella inconvenient and not all that powerful. Idol Transfiguration. Now this is one that I can only think of Mahito. And when I think of Mahito, it's one of the strongest. It's one of the strongest, but make it inconvenient. But there's a lot of good you can do. I mean, I do live in the US though, so like if I start healing a bunch of people, the big pharmaceutical companies are gonna come and get me. So I am gonna put it about even right here. So ratio technique. I mean, getting big hits. This could come in handy more so than like those ones underneath it. But I don't think it's stronger than Nova's curse technique. Now, do I think give Nanami that resonance? Ooh, that would probably be dope. Revealing one's hand, we're not gonna do Divergent Fist. We're not gonna do no. Alright. Blood manipulation. Now this is a tricky one because there's a lot of stuff you can do, and you can, probably make it to where, let's see, drawing your own blood is a little risky, but if you could circumvent that and get your own blood and then control it, I could see it probably being like right around here. And I may shuffle the tiles around because there's a good bit of tiles, and that's also why I'm trying to like limit the ones that I am putting up there. Heavenly Restriction. Kokichi, I do think it's probably about like there. Nah, probably. See, Choso, that's blood manipulation with Choso, but he doesn't have the biology I have. So I'll probably put this like this. I wish I could crop these a little bit myself. Hers weakest, but flying around on a broom is pretty nice. Construction. I'd probably put that there. Boogie Woogie is a weak ability, but I can see it being very useful in life. Saving you from getting hit by things if you react fast enough. Someone did bring along when I kind of thought about doing this and bounced it off of a couple friends. They said Boogie Woogie, you just think about all the stuff you're leaving behind. I mean, you can always go pick it up. As long as it's safe to go back over that way. Black Flash, we don't need Hanami. Now listen to this. What if Hanami can grow weed? Boom. Hella inconvenient to use. What is his curse technique? Was like rot or decay or something like that? Pretty strong, but I'll probably put that there. Ino's a weird one. Like his seance technique or the auspicious beast. I don't think they're not really inconvenient to use because I mean I guess there's moments where having like a long projectile might save you in real life. You know, not very convenient, but it isn't inconvenient either. And it's still, if you have to use the cursed technique every so often, you could just fire one of the little ugly ass auspicious beasts, you know, at a wall or something or the ground. And you know, thinking about like having to use these techniques, but like didn't the fire. I mean, you can look. He's using his fire to light his pipe. You know, a lot of these. I mean, resonance. It doesn't really matter what you use it on. You could just throw a nail in the ground or whatever. Next up, Suguru Geto. Inconvenient because, like I said, there's no curses IRL to manipulate. But it is a very strong technique. That or 10 Shadows, though. I mean, 10 Shadows probably has a higher ceiling, but Christmas. And you also have to. Ugh, that dude's swallowing like throw up rags. Copy, I'll probably put it right here. It's hard to has the luck thing, so it's probably be really useful. To have good luck would be really useful, but his in this world is just kind of a weaker technique. She hangs people, right? Inconvenient and weak. You know this. She can control like pictures, right? She can manipulate photos. Yo, she should work for the Link Click boys. But how strong and how easy? We don't know exactly what she can manipulate with them. Yeah, I'd probably do like that. Okay, so I don't remember if he can control him, but it's not super strong, and using Shikigami in real life like the ones he got. Cloning. The cloning ability I would think be super useful. Meme. Now Meme the birds. Ooh, you know, that shit's for the birds. That's Meme incarnate. Now, her curse technique isn't all that strong. I mean, she doesn't even necessarily like it. But I do think it could be useful. So I'd probably put it like this. And this is going to be a little blotchy looking to hard to tell which ones are which. So I do have to move them around. So I just hope it doesn't mess with the placing or they don't stack up too much. Toji. I mean, all the same reasons as Maki has. Almost no curse energy, but he has completely none. There's no, you know, all his senses are heightened. I mean, you basically be a superhero in real life. Inverse, I don't think has. I mean, I do think it could be a little helpful. This one. Becoming people is cool and all, but I don't have to kill no one to do it. And I don't know if she has to kill him, so I'll just put it right here for sake of brevity. Dagon. Water, but I'll probably put it. Alright. Domain projection sorcery, excuse me. Honestly, I do think that's a pretty high end technique. I think the ice is kind of like the fire and all that. I kind of would like to see Rame versus Jogo, honestly. Rant, I do think being able to like stop people in their tracks as long as they're not Maki. I don't even remember this dude's ability, but it wasn't nothing just crazy. This is probably, these big punches are probably a bitch to deal with. Ferrara. I think now flying automatically is going to go up to the top on these. Now I do think Higuruma is inconvenient because I don't know the law. And getting that, and I don't know exactly how that's going to work. Doesn't really have any use for me particularly. But I mean, I guess holding people accountable on shit, but I probably lose more than I fucking won. Reggie. Okay. Hazanoki. Explode. I guess we'll give with the reverse curse technique on this one as well because it's kind of like, well, I guess technically not. I mean, it is strong. He's strong, but without the hella inconvenient if you don't have reverse curse technique. And I don't know if that exactly like comes with the ability. Hana, super inconvenient but super strong because there'd be no one I need to really get rid of. I'd probably put him with Higuruma. Or no, his, because it's super inconvenient because I can't really summon the big ass Shikigami for like the orbital domain or whatever it was. Kurasuchi or Kurasuchi? Kuroroshi, that's it. I couldn't think of this little ugly ass. I mean, his is strong, but like doesn't really have any. I mean, I guess it's technically strong, but I probably still would rather Kokichi, right? Over, yeah, Kokichi over him, and I'd say over. Alright. Sky manipulation. This is a interesting one. I think it's super useful. How strong do I think it is though? Because I mean, she puts up a good fight, but I wouldn't put her over Toji. Alright, Ishigori. I do think it's pretty strong, but it's pretty inconvenient. Doesn't really have any use for it. Okay, I guess I'll do that. Alright, Charles, was it 2 seconds into the future? But he has that pen, right, that he has to, so I don't think it's all that strong, really. But, I mean, it is a decent ability, of course, and would be super, even seeing 2 seconds into the future could play a huge part. Okay. I'm thinking this is looking like it. Hikari's a strong ability. I mean, I think his whole thing is actually luck-based myself. That's kind of my theory that, like Haruta, except his to a doesn't need the mini miracle thing witness to get his luck. I think he just has his luck based on his kind of like Bokuto. I think his name is from Haikyuu. He gets ramped up, you know, his fever going. But if it's not luck based and it's the doors, I'm not sure what his fucking curse technique exactly is, so I'm just gonna put it right there with Yuta. But behind Yuta, because Yuta is winning that 1v1. I'm sorry. Now Takaba, automatically. I wish I could. I'm gonna have to do it like this. Kashimo doesn't really have a curse technique, so I can, or he can only use it once. We don't know what it is, so inconclusive on that. We don't know the dude that got bullied at UG school. Now the brain technique is super strong because you gain the ability of you gain the ability of the body you're in, but super inconvenient. And you can help him with multiple. He has multiple curse techniques. Yuki, really strong. I mean, she virtual mass, right? I just feel like it's super inconvenient to do that. But it's only on her and Garuda, right? She can't change the mass of other things. So technically that would be pretty useful. Alright. We're getting to the end here. Utahime is... Alright, you know what? We're giving her the top of right there. Because it's simple, right? You know, you're with the homies. They about to get into a brawl at the bar or something. All of a sudden, I just start twerking. I catch a wall. Homies get all ramped up and they win. Because I'm over there just twerking in a corner. Dismantle and cleave, I think it's pretty strong because, you know, just disintegrate shit. But we don't know, like, the baseline ability or what Sukuna's is, really. So let's just put it right here. And I think there's, like, some use for it, too. Okay, let me just make sure I got the ones I'm doing. There might be some missing from this as well. I mean, Ogies. We got Ogies, lol. I don't really see having a flame sword be all that helpful in real life. Maybe to be a lunatic. Hazunoki's homie. Like having little claws. I bite my nails. I know it's a nasty habit, but it'd be nice if I could just the alignment grow them. Or that's the alignment chart. There's nothing that really sticks out too much to me as like wrong. The scaling of weakest to strongest. Again, remember, I'm not claiming that this is the power scaling list of all century or anything like that. I'm a smooth brain. This is a roundabout way. I also had to shift around the tiles just so you could see the people a little better. And if there's something you disagree with, put in the comment section below and give me a reason why. Let me know what curse technique you would like to have in real life, or the one that you think would make life the easiest. Which it has to be Takaba, right? He has like the end-all be-all curse technique for real life. Thanks for staying for the whole video. Appreciate you watching. Like, subscribe, all that. The anime figure show, I'm still working to get back up. I've been saying it for a couple weeks now. But hopefully I can film an episode this week and get it out next week for y'all's content. If it's something you're interested in doing, I have a Figure It Out playlist on my channel. I had no operator on there. He came through and made big plays. I'm looking for more people, and anyone's welcome to come try. You don't need to know about figures. You don't need to know about anything like that in that realm. You could know nothing and play. I have had someone like that, and they came in second. So it's just about having fun anyway. So just drop in the comments section if you're interested, and we'll figure out how we get in touch with each other. Discord, Twitter, all that, you know, it'll be down below. And until next time, stay normie, stay weeb, shit even in between is fine. Until next time, peace.